Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. In today's video we're going to be looking at the word unless and how to use it correctly in English. So basically the dictionary defines the word unless as being similar to except if. So if you look at sentences that use the word unless, typically you will see some kind of consequence. For example, you will fail your exam, you can't play video games, you will have an accident, and I won't help you. So all of these four phrases are, again, a type of consequence. And if we go back to the definition of unless being similar to except if, that means that when you have a sentence connected with the word unless, the part that has the word unless is basically telling you what you can do to prevent this consequence, to avoid this consequence. So for example, if we look at the complete first sentence, you will fail your exam unless you study. This is similar to saying you will fail your exam except if you study. If you study, you can actually prevent this consequence. Similarly, in the second sentence, you can't play video games unless you have finished your vegetables. This is similar to saying that you can't play video games except if you have finished your vegetables. If you have finished your vegetables, then this consequence doesn't apply. And similarly, in sentence number 3, you will have an accident unless you are careful. You will have an accident except if you are careful. If you are careful, you can prevent this consequence. You can prevent the accident. And similarly, in the last sentence, I won't help you unless you ask nicely. This is similar to saying that I won't help you except if you ask nicely. If you ask nicely, then I can, help you. Now, you will notice that in my explanation, I use the word if a lot. And this is because it is a type of conditional sentence in a way. And so another way to look at the word unless is as being similar to if with the opposite form of the verb. So like, for example, in this case, a negative form of the verb. So again, you will fail your exam unless you study is very, very similar to saying you will fail your exam if you don't study. And you can't play video games unless you have finished your vegetables is very similar to saying you can't play video games if you haven't finished your vegetables. You will have an accident unless you are careful. You probably guessed it. You will have an accident unless you are not careful. And similarly, in the last sentence, I won't help you unless you ask nicely. This is very similar to saying that I won't help you if you don't ask nicely. So pretty simple, right? Well, if there are still any questions in your mind, I would say that the key is practice. So try to expose yourself to the structure as much as possible. Maybe go back and analyze the 4 sentences, and then I would recommend trying to write a few examples of your own. And this is typically the way that we learn structures and learn to use them correctly, especially if you find them difficult. And in fact, when the video is finished, I'm going to put a few sentences in the comments section. And the idea with those sentences is for you to finish them with your own ideas using the word unless. So again, if at the end of the video, maybe give me your ideas and I will tell you if they are correct and logical. But before the end of the video, let's do another exercise together. Here I have 3 sentences, and all of the ideas in these 3 sentences can be expressed using the word unless. So it is possible to rewrite these sentences using the word unless. and in approximately 30 seconds you will see at the end of the video my suggested answers of how I would change the sentences to include the word unless. But the idea here is, maybe if necessary, pause the video, write your answers down, and then at the end of the video check if they are similar to my suggested answers. The three sentences are: you can't work here if you don't have experience. How would you express the same idea using unless? I can't travel abroad if I don't have a passport. And you will be late if you don't leave now. So again, take a moment, write your answers down, and in approximately 10 seconds, you will see the suggested answers. And as always, if you found this video helpful, maybe consider subscribing to the channel, and maybe even hitting that notification bell to be notified when new videos are released.